And obviously, props to Fundora for getting a sensational win. A lot of fight fans are giving him his props, but a lot of they're asking for the fight against Bakhram now. They're saying that that's a fight that makes sense. Fundora, obviously impressed in this fight. Do you guys believe that Fundora listens to the fans and challenges Bakhram in the next 18 months?
I hope so. Ты думаешь, он будет слушать фанатов и бой с тобой возьмет Фундору?
Ну, я думаю, нет. Ну и даже если возьмет, я думаю, Любин должен быть следующий. Он заслужил этого, Фундора был целый год, чтобы принять бой. Поэтому даже если сейчас Фундора захочет, я думаю, Любин заслуживает больше боя. Ну, имеется в виду то, что он обязательно претендент, из-за этого, то, что он готов был драться, я думаю, сейчас он заслуживает больше боя, чем этот высокий.
Okay, so what he thinks is like, I don't think he's gonna take that fight. He's gonna do what he does best, run, whatever. But honestly, even if he wants to take that fight, he had a whole year to take that fight. He had no fight, we had no fight. He had a whole year to take that fight, and he didn't. He dropped his belt, did a whole bunch of crazy shit anyways, and then he ended up fighting other people when he could have fight us. And at this point, we have a mandatory who actually earned the spot. Not like him. He didn't earn the spot. He was running, and he mandatory earned the spot. He's willing to fight. He's making a noise that he wants to fight. So Bakhram is willing to fight him before anybody. The mandatory. If something else comes up like a unification, that's a different story. But other than that, the guy earned the spot. They have to give him a chance. And I personally think he's speaking from his own experience. He earned the spot, and they didn't give him a chance for 4 years.
Yeah.
After 4 years, they end up had no choice and gave him a chance. But when you earn the spot, they have to give you the chance, and that's why he's saying it. I might believe,
Yeah, and the person that you're alluding to is Erickson Lubin, who's got that mandatory spot for that IBF belt that Bakhram holds.
Yeah, you earn the spot, you should get the chance, of course. Yeah, that's what I think too.
And what are your guys' thoughts on Erickson Lubin? If you can share us with a little bit, does that fight happen in the next 6 months? From your understanding, when would that fight happen if it were to happen?
Когда ты думаешь, этот бой может быть, если будет?
Ну, я надеюсь, что в самое ближайшее время.
He thinks this should be very soon. We're waiting for.
Начало октября.
Yeah, the IBF already kind of said the fight should happen. I think they have like a couple of weeks to decide if they're going to purse bid or someone's doing a show or whatever. I think there's negotiations happening right now.
IBF сказала, что я должен драться до ноября. Поэтому мы сосредоточились на нем. Если бы у меня было бы больше времени не драться с ним, я бы мог бы сделать какой-нибудь промежуточный бой.
Yeah, so IBF said the fight should happen before November, and that's why we focus on this right now. Because if it was not like that, we could have just fight anybody and then get the mandatory. But we just fought a mandatory, and we're gonna fight another mandatory, which doesn't, it doesn't bother us. It's okay, and that's what we focused on right now.
And what are Bakhram's thoughts on Erickson Lubin? You mentioned that he's kind of cut from the same cloth, mandatory earned that spot. He's been in there with Fundora. He's been in with another big 154-pounder in Ramos. What are Bakhram's thoughts on Erickson Lubin?
Что ты думаешь о Любину? Как думаешь, как боксер? Он дрался там с такими большими.
Да, хороший, опытный боец. Зайдем в ринг, посмотрим.
He's a very good, experienced fighter, and as soon as we step in the ring, we'll find out.
And what are backgrounds without giving out the game plan against Lubin if that fight gets made, like you said, before November? Does he want to get more rounds in? Does he want to give a sensational knockout? What is the game plan? Without giving out the game plan.
Самый простой бит и не давать бить себя.
Simple. Punch him and not get punched.
There you go. And obviously, again, we mentioned how 154 is a hot division. The last interview that we did, Coach, I got over 12,000 views. So that shows that the fight fans, are behind Bakhram. They understand that there's boxing politics at work, but with social media, with YouTube, it seems like that gives you guys a window into what the fans are thinking. What are you guys' thoughts on just all those comments of support for Bakhram from the fans?
Говорят, последнее видео мы вместе сделали, там очень-очень много людей смотрели, и все хорошие, добро, комменты там поставили. Видно, что они за тобой следят, следят и с тобой, короче. Что ты думаешь про этих людей?
Я им очень благодарен, спасибо им большое. В любом случае, что бы ни происходило, люди все равно видят общую картину, что происходит в боксе и в моем весе в частности. Поэтому, я думаю, поэтому они положительно смотрят на это все. Потому что они знают правду, как есть на самом деле.
Yeah, he really appreciates the fans, and he's happy that they understand the boxing politics, and they see everything what's happening, all the politics, especially in his weight class, and all that stuff is happening, and he really appreciates them, and good that they understand everything and they know the truth.
Yeah.
И это интервью в Турции, которое сделал, оно еще больше открыло глаза остальным людям, потому что до этого они думали, что я это хочу драться там с другими топами моего веса. В итоге он все сказал, и ему все поверили.
Yeah, recently there was a podcast with Turkey, Ali Sheikh, and also he said he opened everybody's eyes. Now everybody knows. He said that he offered many fighters lots of money, and no one took a fight. They all just, as soon as they get offered, they disappear. So now people, they open up their eyes. They know what's going on, because before they thought for some reason we're not fighting or we don't want to fight. But I mean, fighters are not on the streets. We can't go out and chase them out and catch them and fight. They have to be arranged. They have to be negotiations and sign the contract, and it's not really happening. A lot of the fans understand, and a lot of them don't understand. They think it's just a fight. You just go and fight. It doesn't work like that. There's so many politics.
И еще там некоторые боксеры потом говорили, что типа они готовы драться, но по сути эти боксеры там, или там идут из серии каких-то поражений, или они просто были неинтересны для Турции, поэтому он им не предлагал, он говорил, отказывались те люди, которые ему было интересно, чтобы со мной подрались.
Yeah, there's some fighters who were interested.
Все боятся драться. Боятся драться, кому он делал предложение.
He's not saying everybody's scared. Okay, he's saying that what Turkey meant was like there's a lot of fighters they're on a losing streak, or like they're not even in the top 10 or in top 5, or they don't earn a spot. That's why they've never been offered. Because they lost a fight or two back to back. They dropped on their ranking or whatever. So those guys haven't been offered, and we understand why, and they should understand why too. They didn't earn the spot to be offered for a fight like that. That's why probably they haven't been offered. But the ones who actually have been offered, they have the big enough name and ranking to be fighting, and those are the ones that we're talking about that they disappeared.
Он не готов не заплатить деньги за легкий.
Yeah, and no one's gonna pay him money for easy fights, fighting some guys who like no one knows who they are.
Yeah, and on the topic of Turkey, Coach, what are your guys' relationship with them? Do you guys have a good relationship? Has he reached out to you guys personally? Again, he seems like he's like a fan of the boxing game and has almost unlimited pockets. He wants to, make the best fights available. What are your guys' relationship with Turkey?
С кем?
Turkey.
Мы с ним разговаривали перед Дзю. Так, уважительные отношения, я думаю. У меня нету проблем с ним, у него со мной нету.
There's no problems or anything. Very, very respectful communication. They had a phone conversation. I was actually there too before the team fight in the locker room, and then from that point on, just all respect. And my knowledge is that he talked to the Turkey talks to his manager. There's no direct communication. I don't know the guy. I have a lot of respect for him, but I personally don't know him. So, and with him, he had phone conversations with him.
Right.
Just respect.
Yeah, and it seems like Turkey would favor and back up somebody like Bakhram with his style. It's action-packed style, knockouts. That's somebody that some guys won't get in the ring with him because the money's not right, but with Turkey, it seems like if they're going to get in a tough fight with Bakhram, at least they're going to get paid, correct?
I don't even think there was a conversation about money was not right. I've never heard of that. No one ever said the money was right. They're just disappearing. Okay, has everyone said money was right? I never heard of that. Turkey never said that. No one ever said that. So if they would say, okay, the money was not right, then the promoter usually comes to the other side. Okay, let's say that we get this much, he gets this much, and this side says, oh, money's not right. If the guy is putting this much money, he's gonna have to come to us and say, okay, they say money is not right, maybe we should add more money to him and give you less.
Right.
I've never
It didn't even get to that point, you're saying?
No,
okay.
There was nothing like that. There was never issue about the money. The issue was that they didn't want to take it.
They didn't want
That's
to.
it.
Right. So it didn't even get to that step, is what you're saying.
Man,
Yeah.
It's never been. The money's been offered, whatever. The fight's been offered, and
Right.
they said, "Oh, okay," and then they don't answer the phone or they don't call back or whatever, you know.
Right.